and hello and welcome to Mystic Rockstar. My name is Rosa Hart, and this is your next chapter as an artist. I am so excited to have you in this masterclass. In this chapter that you are going to step into, you are going to be singing on your dream 100-person stages, publishing your evolved songs, and stepping into your big motherfucking artist persona. So if you are ready, let's get into it. So you are in the right place. If you are the naturally talented artist who has a big voice inside of them. And by big, I do not just mean loud. I also mean the size of your energy, the size of your presence. You have a big one inside of you, and you are a rock star who is meant to be singing on those dream stages. And you want to be singing with that big, bold, expressive voice with skill without damaging your voice or without burning yourself out. And you are ready to enter your era as the mystic rock star in your own unique way. So, in this training, we're going to be workshopping a little. We're going to be workshopping up-leveling your artistry and stepping into that big artist persona of yours and going into what does that even mean? So you can create music that you really dream of singing, the music that you really dream of recording and publishing and bringing out to the world. That is what we are here for. And a few words about me. If we have not met, if this is your first time in my world, welcome. My name is Rosa Hart, and I've done a few things. I've done a few things that I have collected, listed here. I am a recording published artist. I am a professionally studied musician and singer. I have 3 professional degrees in music and dance. I have been playing in multiple professional ensembles and counting. And I have been making my original music since I was, well, if you really want to, like, okay, like I was a teenager when I started, but officially I was like 19, 20 years old when I really started making my original music and performing it on stages with very little background, with very little like experience out of performing and music. Like otherwise that it was like my biggest passion, like my biggest hobby. I listened to music so much when I was growing up, and it was just like the biggest love of my life. And I have toured around the country in Finland, festivals, clubs, outdoor gigs, underground, private events, concert halls, streets. I am the winner of Finnish National Championship of Busking 20, oh my God, 2016? 2016 maybe? 2015, something like that. And I have been teaching and coaching singers, people, artists in their voice and their singing and their embodiment for over 10 years. And in my own business, I have been serving women in 8 countries and 3 continents. And oh, by the way, last year I was also in Voice of Finland as a participant. What a fun adventure and a privilege to be part of something like that too. So, to tell you a little bit about my story, because you may be wondering, like, who is she? And like, why is she talking about these things? So, when I was growing up, I was, to put it like, to summarize it, I was kind of shy and socially reserved and pretty anxious when I was growing up. When I went to school, I really felt it kind of like growing on me, this reservedness and shyness. I was really reserved in using my voice and really expressing myself in the world. And I often felt really frozen, like I couldn't really be myself or like show myself in the world. And this quote, how can a small girl, like a small, shy, silent girl, have such a big voice? This is something that people started saying when I started performing when I was 19, 20 years old. Because people were so used to seeing me as the like shy, small girl. But when I stepped on stage, it was like the beast was out and the bigness got out. The stage was the first place where I felt like, oh, I can really be free and I can let out all of this bottled up energy that is inside of me. So I was kind of like the shy, ugly duckling. Even when I started studying music when I was 16 years old, I went to this music school, a local music school. And actually, my main instrument at that time was piano. And I'm just checking, like, am I recording my voice? I am. I was like, I have to check that out. So my main instrument was piano, but I was starting to take my first singing lessons ever at that time. And there were obviously other singers who were at the same year class that I was. And I was like, I was definitely the ugly duckling. The other girls were like super talented and singing all this like big songs. And I was like, I just want to sing Tori Amos. And I really like, we didn't really click with the voice teacher. And it was like we either of us didn't know how to be with each other. It was like we were on completely different planets. And I definitely didn't really see myself even as a singer. I knew that I wanted to create music, I wanted to create songs. I maybe felt more like a songwriter, songwriter. Um, and I had like a very strong feeling and like a strong vision that I know that I'm meant to be on stages. I know that I'm meant to be making music. Like this is the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. And I had such a strong feeling and like a burn inside of me. Like I just had to follow that, even though there was not like a lot of proof like of me being like some really talented singer. Like I wasn't born with like, just like la da 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 like singing with an amazing voice. Like of course, like I've always been like musically inclined and in a way gifted like musically, but I did have to work out like with the skill and like really kind of like uncover and unlock it from inside of me. So when I started making music and performing, it really felt like I started coming out more, even just like as a human being and as a person. It felt like it allowed me to come out like as who I am. And it just completely changed my life. Like in my 20s, I was just making music. gigging, touring around the country, and just basically like having the time of my life and studying music, studying singing, studying teaching. Um, it was like it felt like I found my place in the world, and that happened because I was so confidently following that feeling that I know that I'm meant to be on stage. And the first solo concert that I ever did when I was like 20 years old or something, like that was the first big moment that like catalyzed like this whole series of events and like my whole career from that moment onward. And it was so important for me to do that because it really like it claimed both for myself and like people around me that this is who I am. And by the way, if you can hear a baby crying, he is with his father. So there's nothing to worry about. You kind of feel like you have to mention that, like, anytime it might be like staying on a recording. So, yes. And I was basically working as a professional singer and musician. I was paid for my gigs and my music, and I was also teaching and all these things and recording my own music and also learning to record and produce my own music because I really realized like very early on that if I wanted to be an artist and if I wanted to make music, like this is something that like I really need to like take into my own hands. Like I have to learn this. Like I have to learn how to record, how to produce, like at least understand how it works, and just to like have more sovereignty and have more kind of like capability so that like I can create music even if I don't have a lot of expensive gear or I don't have producers or like a team or a record label or any of those things. Like I have to be able to kind of like craft my career on my own. All right, so we are continuing with our little assistant. So let's move on forward with this masterclass. So, somatics and embodiment. It really changed my life as a singer early on. So, as I told you, I went to study music when I was pretty young, like, well, initially 16, but I went to conservatory to study folk music as a vocalist when I was 19 years old. And I started going to a lot of singing lessons. And I really didn't have any prior singing lesson experience before that. And as much as that was fun, and I had a few vocal teachers when I was in conservatory, I always felt like I still sang better and I felt more free when I was like singing on my own, singing my own music, and just like jamming it at the piano. And I was just like, yeah, that's just how it is. And I had a hard time kind of like grasping the like technique and all of this that we did at the lessons. And when I found somatics, that was like kind of like from multiple different places around the same time. One was when I found my voice teacher, the one that I worked with for 5 years. And then when I found like working with my body somatically, and how it happened was that I had this chronic backache and like back tension in my upper back for many, many years in my early 20s. And I tried everything. I tried everything. I tried everything that I knew to try, from yoga to massage to energy work, you name it. And nothing really worked. it always came back. And it was this one somatic practice, this one journey that I did where I, for the first time in many years, experienced that tension and that ache relief. And I was like, shit, holy shit. Like, what is this? How did this happen? It felt miraculous. And I also noticed how much it had an impact on my voice and my singing. I was like, okay, like this feels amazing. Like my singing feels different and it sounds different. And that really had me dive deep into that rabbit hole. I was like, I want to I want to find out like everything there is about like really like opening and liberating my body, like really embodying my instrument and learning to not just release the tension, but to like really inhabit my body and like sing from the inside out. And this was something that like really, really my baby is very often participating in our classes. He likes to join. Uh, so that really changed my life as a singer. I had like unlocked something in my voice already before that, when I started performing and followed that feeling of like having a bigger voice inside of me. But then when I went into like really working somatically with my voice, I was like I can do this. Like, oh, there is this in my voice, and wow, that sound came from me. Like I started like finding that, finding this, finding that, and it just kept opening and unraveling. And at one singing lesson with my dear vocal teacher, Mary, I had this epiphany. I don't remember what exactly we were doing, but I was singing this one song. And as I was singing, I had this feeling and experience in my body like I was jumping out of a plane and being like, I hope my parachute works. Like that is how it felt in my body. And my voice, it really opened and it felt big without really trying to effort or force anything. And it sounded amazing. And I said to my teacher, like, I think I'm really here to learn how to surrender through sound and singing. And by surrender, like really learning how to like let go and surrender into that like bigger power that comes with your voice and like really learn to hold that. So the image that I kind of like had for it is like kind of like riding with a horse without a saddle and just like galloping like really really fast. Like you have to be able to like sort of like surrender with your body. Like there it is a paradox because there is always control that comes with surrender, but it's different than a kind of like trying to force control or forcing control through your mind. Those are different. So that has been like this overarching like big theme in my whole journey as a singer. And I've gone like a really big journey from like starting as kind of like the more ethereal singer to like really unlocking power vocals. And that has also been like a big part of my embodiment journey to like really be able to like ground down and anchor into my body so deeply, because I was someone who was like pretty much like got cut off from my lower body somatically and energetically when I was younger, and like really being able to like root down into my pelvis and my sacral and like my lower body has been so big. And being able to like unlock my power vocals and really that like powerful tone and energy and presence as a singer. And to me, it was very much the journey of starting to sing rock and yeah, being able to like really embody the songs and find the kind of voice that can deliver that kind of music. So, in a nutshell, that is my story if we don't know each other before. But now it is your time. It is your time, baby. So, it is time to step into your big artist persona. So, your big artist persona, it's your star self. That is your star identity. And the thing that we really have to do is liberating your identity as a singer so you can really hold that energy and identity of a star, of a rock star in your body and be seen in it. If you hold identity like of someone who is just small and I'm just like nah, 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 like if you see yourself as a dabbler or a hobbyist who's not that great, or there is something else about being seen and perceived as a star and really being seen in your bigness, that is one of the first things that we have to liberate. And I would love to invite you to drop into like, what does it mean for you in this chapter of your life, your career, your journey as an artist and singer? What does it mean for you to step into your big artist persona? What does it look like? And the answer is going to be unique for everyone. And it's going to depend on where you are at in your journey and what is really the thing that is going to be expansive and stretchy to you right now at this time in your journey. So this is what we're going to keep in mind as we start workshopping. So if you want to take a piece of pen and paper to kind of like jot down a few words, how do they say that? In Finnish, we say like to write like French lines. I don't know if that's correct, but just write down notes. You may want to pause the video if you want to write down longer, because I'm just going to go through these sections, or you can come down to these afterwards, but just like write down like intuitively words, something that comes up. You can come back to them later after this masterclass. But the first thing is I want us to start getting clear on like your artistry and like what is actually important to you, what is actually valuable to you. So the first thing that I want us to drop into is, what are your core values as a singer and an artist? It is so important to know what is actually important and valuable to you, and really listen to yourself in that, not just what everybody else is thinking, what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is appreciating. Because the thing is that in being a singer and an artist, it is so easy to get stuck in this external layer of like information and influence and look at what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is successful in, what made them successful. And our minds and kind of like uncertain and disconnected parts of ourselves like can grasp onto that and be like, like maybe I need to do it like that too because it worked for them. So here is where it is really important to come back to yourself and feel your own energy and feel what is actually true to you in your body. Do you want to eat? So here are a few examples of tuning into your values. Is creating music that somehow honors your spirituality important to you instead of hiding it. If spirituality is an important value to you. And remember, there is no like right way to express something or embody something. Like, let's say, for example, ow, don't bite. It's a burra. He's just laughing. He just bit me. Okay, we're not doing the feeding part. Okay. Okay. So again, this is not about looking at like what is the right way to do it from the outside, but really listening to what feels true when I tune into my instrument. Is having heartful connections, heart to heart connections and collaborations with other artists, something that is important to you? Do you find collaborations something that you want to have a lot in your artistry? Do you value honesty, raw emotion, or slow cooking? I wonder what I meant by that. I'm not sure. Do you value organic sounds? Do you value organic instruments? Or are you more like electronic music? There is no right or wrong, like here, wrong. This is the thing. It can be so easy to get stuck with, like, people have really strong opinions and really strong, like, values when it comes to music. When somebody values something in music, they value it usually with their whole heart and their whole, like, pussy or, their turn on. Like, it is usually something that they really burn for. And you have to, like, find out, like, what is it that you burn for? What is valuable to you? So I want you to write down at least 5 things you find are core values for you that you are not interested in negotiating in your music and your artistry. And these are really important kind of like defining factors, or like northern stars, or not even like northern star, because like value is something that is like really rooted, like deep inside of you. Like, for example, for me, maturity as an artist is really important. Because, when I was in my 20s, I was so scared that, growing old is going to mean that my career ends. And it always felt like there was this rush to get somewhere or to like make it in my career. And the older that I've grown and matured, the more I've understood I really actually value maturity as an artist. And in my value book, you don't need to be 20 years old to be an artist. Like, you can be an amazing artist in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and your life experience and your maturity can bring so much more value and depth and substance into your music and your songs. Because music is not just about, like practicing scales. It's also about like, what can you actually pour from your life experience into your music? And also, what is your level of embodiment? These are things that I have now that I'm 36 that I didn't have when I was in my 20s. And also another thing is like, I'm a mother. So like, to me, like music, like being a musician can't mean that I'm, I don't have children or I'm single or 20 years old. Like, there has to be a vision or like a way of doing music that like includes that maturity and like is like a more mature um take on it. Or another thing that is important and valuable to me is spirituality, like having like being connected to a spiritual purpose in my music. And by spiritual purpose, I don't mean that it looks like, you know, like I'm branding myself to look like a Kundalini yoga teacher or something like that. Like I can definitely, you know, wear like a leather jacket and I don't know, like like something that looks like maybe Cher could have worn in her like rock era, to just like give you like an example and still be spiritual. So it doesn't have to look a certain way, but it is something that you hold on the inside as a value, really important to yourself. So 5 things that are important to you, write them down. And I would love for you to have them like as things like honesty, spirituality, like one word, and then you can elaborate on that. But getting really clear and kind of like the energy behind the value. And again, this might be different to you now than it was 10 years ago. So it's really good to like check on these things as you are now stepping into your next era as an artist to sing on your dream stages and like really evolve in your artistry. So, number 2, what are your unique natural strengths or strengths that you have developed? So here we have a few examples. Are you a top lining goddess who just oozes with meant to be bobs kind of melodies? Are you a queen of freestyling lyrics? Are you a natural storyteller? Do you just like write lyrics that have stories, or are you really talented in telling stories through words? Or do you have the kind of high notes that are the most angelic thing since Celine Dion? Or are you a queen of riffing? Or maybe you have a really, really strong stage presence. Like get really full of yourself in the best way possible. Not to kind of like blow smoke up your ass, but like to really look honestly, because like truths are facts. We have to get my charger in. I'm getting all the fucking distractions. Oh no. What happened? Give me a second. I pressed something and I lost my screen share. We're not going to be bothered by something like that. We are continuing. Alrighty. So what I was saying about strengths, I completely forgot. Yes. Truths feel like facts. Like it is something when you just like look at yourself and like look at the things that you have done, what comes so easily to you that it's sometimes like even stupefying. Like sometimes things that are your strengths, they're so natural to you that it's very easy to overlook them. That it's like, oh well, this is so easy to me, like I don't know about that. Like write those things down. Like you want to get clear on like what is something that is really natural to you and what are you strong in, and not to overlook those things as not interesting or not so cool as somebody else's strengths or whatever, because the more you claim who you are, the more you are able to really step into your big artist persona. Because if you're even unconsciously, blah, blah, if you are even unconsciously trying to be like somebody else, you are not in your own most magnetic energy and expression. We have a little bit of a restless puppy boy here. Let's see. Okay. So I'll give you an example, but I'm just going to get my charger. Okay, we are back. And this is, by the way, something that is a value to me. I don't care about freaking perfectionism. If there are distractions or, I mess up my screen share, I don't give a shit. A secret. I don't give a shit. We just keep going. Because if you wait for the perfect circumstances or, to make no mistakes, you're never going to make freaking anything. And that's not the most important thing anyway. Like, you just need to learn how to freaking roll with it no matter what happens. So, that is a value that I hold in my world if you are called to come into it. So, strengths. I'll tell you a little bit of a story about strengths. So, when I started um, performing my own music and like really seriously writing my own songs, something that people also said was like, oh, like you have such a like your voice has so much personality. And in a way, I was really smart. I was really smart at that time because I really leaned onto the personality in my voice instead of trying to be like, the talented girls in my class who were so amazing at singing things like R&B and pop. Um, or jazz kind of songs, things that were like really popular hit songs. So instead of being like, oh my God, I need to be like them, I need to be able to sing like them, I really went to town with my own thing and developing my own style. And of course, it doesn't mean that I don't get to like learn from others or sing something that is a hit song or popular. Like it doesn't mean that. But to really stay rooted in that, then the thing that is going to make me successful is my uniqueness in the end for me. And I have to remember that and not get lost in looking at what makes other people successful. You can't just like get hooked on what makes other people successful because everybody has their own path. And you have to find from inside of you, like, what is the thing that is guiding you? What is the thing that is burning inside of you? What is your medicine? What is your medicine? What is your frequency? What is your energy? What is yours to tell? What is yours to sing? And this is why we go into the body to really tap into that essence and the energy that you have always been carrying inside of you. And this is also the thing that I really love about embodied singing is that we don't really have to go looking for it. The star essence, the star energy is inside of you. You most probably just have not been listening. You have not been listening well enough. Because, there was a point in my story, and this is another thing too. I am a creative, possibly ADHD, I don't know. I tend to flow with things, and there is a red thread. If you are like a person who needs everything to be like, I'm probably not your kind of gal. But there was a point in my journey where I went really deep into working somatically with my voice and my body, like in a way where I was not doing much. And I created a few practices and this method of like really melting freeze from the body and the nervous system to like unlock your own energy and your own voice. And during that time, my practice was so simple. I was basically holding my hands on my body, like using touch, breath, and sound. I was not really singing like songs. I was not trying to like intently practice a technique or a sound, but I was really just increasing my ability to feel and sense my own body. And through that, I was like really able to tap into something that is like very, very core, at the core of my artistry and my voice and like myself. And it had like the unlocking in my voice was like, it was so massive. But it didn't mean that I had to like do more and do a lot and do that exercise and work on that technique and learn those songs and learn this, learn that. It was like taking away all the excess and like stripping away what is unnecessary. So you can actually get to the thing that matters inside of you. Most of us have just been so disconnected and dissociated from that throughout our whole lives and been so like busy with everything else that that juice and that electric energy that really is your rock star self, like it gets buried and hidden underneath all of that. But that is not a mistake. Like everything is perfect, kind of like from the bigger lens of like looking at your life and the medicine that comes through your unique story. And that is also when you feel into these things like what are your values and your strengths, and you feel into like what has my story been like, what are the challenges that I have gone through, what have been the blocks in front of my voice. We usually look at those like from the lens of like, oh, I have this block, like damn shoot, like damn shoot. And actually, there is always some intelligent medicine in the specific blocks that you have and the kind of story that you have had, the cultural environment that you have grown in, all of these things that have impacted you. And even with all of that, there is that like soul essence, like that soul voice that is inside of you that is bigger than all of that. That is why we shouldn't get ever like too caught in like what happened to me and like the challenges or the trauma or whatever like happened um to us, like not to bypass it, because obviously like taking all of those things into account is important, but not to get too stuck in it. All right. So there you have. Actually, I'm gonna add that to this workshop. Write down 3 to 5 like really big events in your life that have really shaped you and challenges that have really shaped you. And what have you gained from those challenges? Who have you really become because of those challenges? And sometimes the blocks can be like you feel like you haven't really made your way through them, and it's not like we ever like fully get rid of them. That's not the whole point, but there is always something for us to uncover, some kind of medicine that we are then meant to bring into our voice and our music and our songs. All right, let's move forward. So, what is your edge? What is your edge? There needs to be a little bit of feeling of danger. If we're talking about you stepping into your mystic rock star self, you have to feel into the danger zone. Where is your edge? Where is it time for you to stretch yourself, to expand and grow as an artist? Because if you're staying too safe, that's going to be a bit blah. That's going to be a bit meh. Like it's not going to be so fun and interesting to you, but it's also going to keep you in this like safe zone as an artist and singer. It's kind of like, when a band has their breakthrough and then they just kind of like start doing the safe thing, like repeating the same thing over and over. And it's like there's not really anything like it's not popping anymore. So feel into like what is the next thing that is going to really stretch you, something that feels like an honest stretch, like something that is a little bit scary, um, makes you feel nervous or makes you feel a little bit like, I don't know if I can even do that, or, like, oh, that's a lot. But something that still feels like a desire, like something that you want. Um, but it maybe has that feeling of nervousness or even impossibility to it. A little bit of feeling of impossibility can be really, really great leaning into your edge. So, for example, is it singing on bigger stages? Is it time for you to evolve into a different kind of identity on what kind of stages you are actually singing on? Is it taking next level photos for your cover art, like really going to town with your visuals and with your art in that way, and spending time really building the world that your music lives in? Is it refining your vocals for your next release? Like really taking the time and the energy and the mentorship to refine your vocals, to take them from good to great? Is it unlocking your channel fully so you can go the extra mile in your recordings and performances? So you can really nail it, not just sing it well, but to like really embody and like feel the song, like get on top of it. Is it maybe showing an aspect of your artistry and your expression that you haven't before? Maybe it's like a more aggressive, like darker aspect of yourself. Maybe it's more like whimsical and funny and light aspect of yourself and your expression. So, to give you an example, um, at one point of my journey as a singer, I realized that singing like ethereal, magical songs was becoming really easy to me. And I felt a massive pull and massive burn to start singing rock music and really find this like power vocalist inside of me. And that was a massive stretch. It was not like it was just like from the snap of the fingers, like I could feel like I am credible as a rock singer, or I am credible to sing like power vocals, and I've got it. It was a journey of years to go into that and be seen in that, like even being seen and perceived in an expression that is like powerful and like aggressive and big, like from the from the energy and kind of expression that rock is. That was a really, really big stretch for me. Like I had to really grow as a person and like really up level my identity as an artist to really be able to claim that and to hold that, so that I could like, go on stage and sing without losing my voice or like feeling like like I'm freezing, or to feel like I have the dare and the courage to really hold myself with confidence of like, yeah, of course, I've got this. Um, so your expansive edge needs to be a little bit of like, is it actually going to be possible? But there needs to be an authentic pull and authentic desire that you have for it. So write down 3 edges that you can feel. Now is the time to lean into this. Okay. And the last one in this section is tune into what lights your fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. So, what is something that turns you on and maybe also scares you a little bit in your artistry? Like, what is something that makes you viscerally feel like, excited? Something that you love so much. So, this is where you just get to let your inner child be like, I love this, and this makes me feel excited. And it's really important to let that innocent part of you out and get excited, because something that happens to us as an adult is that gets like flattened down. Like, you're going to be disappointed. Like, you shouldn't be dreaming about those things. It's not possible anyway. Like, it's kind of like a protection mechanism. Like, we're kind of like taught and conditioned to hide that part of ourselves so it doesn't get disappointed or rejected or, fail or embarrassed or whatever. But it's a really important fuel in your music and in your singing. And it is something that is just like nourishing to you to really feel into like what feels amazing in my body. And I really want you to like keep that in mind as you feel into this. What feels amazing in my body when it comes to singing? And if you don't know, you should come to Mystic Rockstar, obviously. But tune into your heart and your pussy. And feel into 5 things, or even one thing, 1 to 5 things that light up your fire right now. And it's not necessarily like a massive, like, hype, 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 hype kind of energy, because if you really tune into your body, it can have a lot more gravity. It can more feel like like, yeah, like this is something that I really enjoy. This lights my fire. It doesn't have to be like a sugar high, but it can feel more like a spark, or like something is lit inside of you, or you feel kind of like a shake and like, this is so exciting. Take those as clues and a reminder to yourself to really anchor into what lights you up for real, like what would be amazing for real, and allow yourself to get maybe a little bit unhinged, to dare to go that extra mile with your visioning. Like, don't stay in kind of like, yeah, I'll have a goal or a dream or a vision that feels like, it's possible. Like, it's kind of safe. Like, I'm sure that it's going to happen. You need to have a little bit of danger in it. Okay. Otherwise, it's a bit meh. Okay. All righty. So have your paper and your notes to your side, and we're going to go into a bit of an embodiment exercise and meditation. So let's drop in to meditate. So you can either sit or lie down. This is going to be about 10 minutes. Let's see, I'm going to stop my screen share so I can put on my music. So, to connect with your big artist persona, we're going to take a moment to really feel into the body. And again, remember, sometimes there is not more to do, but to take excess off and really feel into like what is actually the thing that is true inside of you, and let that be felt, be seen, and emerge. So, gently closing your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let your face soften. Let your shoulders soften. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And letting your body soften with each exhale. Bringing maybe one hand to your chest, one on your belly. Simply notice the air spiraling in and spiraling out. As your chest moves when you breathe, does your belly have space to expand? Maybe sigh on the exhale. Softening your pelvic floor. Noticing the sensations you feel in your body. Maybe you feel pressure. Maybe there's some tension. Temperature. Do you feel warm, cool? And really anchoring down to your sitting bones, your pelvis, your lower back. Finding a slow pace of breathing in your own rhythm. You can either keep holding your hands, one on your belly, one on your chest, or maybe you let your touch wander slowly on your body as you keep breathing slowly in, slowly out. You may even want to exhale with sound. Just letting the natural sound come out and relax your body. and connecting with the deeper why you're here. What is the desire the reason that you found your way here? What was the thing that made you attend and watch this masterclass? What is the desire that you have for yourself as an artist? May even feel like something that is bigger than you, that you have always felt connected to, but maybe not always felt it was possible or even allowed. Feel into all the life that has been bottled up inside of you, and all the life that you want to express in your voice, in your artistry, your songs, on the stage. And imagine yourself starting to glow and radiate from the inside out. You can feel the glow starting to grow from the center of your body, your belly, your pelvis, around your spine. A warm glow like the sun. And that glow is starting to spread all around your body, to your face, your hands, to your legs. Notice how warm it feels. And take yourself to any moment in your life where you needed some support or encouragement or love to be able to express yourself in your fullness. Even if there is no memory, just go into that feeling intuitively. And imagine yourself giving yourself whatever that support was that you needed, and giving it 10 times more than you have ever given to yourself. Maybe it's loving words, permission, and as you give this to yourself, notice your energy and your expression growing bigger, more free, more grounded. can see yourself morphing into your adult self, standing on stage, rooted like a tree, strong like a lion, tall like a 3-story building. Seeing yourself as the rock star, singing effortlessly, channeling power, music through your body and your voice, in your element. You're not thinking about it, you're just living it, being in the moment. Being the star on the stage, the one that you've always known inside of you that you are. And take a deep breath. And slowly bring yourself back. So, and when we go really deep into this work, we have much longer journeys and practices. I don't know if you can hear the playing from the background. We are having sounds of life come from the background. But in Mystic Rockstar, we really have longer and deeper journeys where your body really gets time to open, because this is really the thing. Most of us and most of our bodies and our nervous systems have not been given enough time to really open and unlock. And that is very often the missing piece in your voice and your singing. To have enough time in quality presence. That is really, really magical. What can happen in there? So, if you are a yes into exploring this deeper and stepping into your stardom and your mystic rock star self, singing on your dream stages, publishing your evolved big deal songs, and unlocking your big voice and stepping into that larger than life artist persona. Say yes, say yes. Say yes if that is something that you want. Because now I'm going to be sharing with you about my program, Mystic Rockstar. Mystic Rockstar is really where we do this. It's like the academy for embodied singing, so you can step into your freaking rock star self and sing like a freaking star on stage. Step on like into your fame energy and get on those dream stages of yours and have a freaking amazing time, because both of us know that it's just freaking amazing, that it feels so good to sing and be on stage. And for you to be able to do that without anything holding you back, and really being so rooted into yourself, your body, your voice, so you can just be the channel, that is so. Mm, it's indescribable. It's impossible to explain. It is so enjoyable. It is so enjoyable. I know you know it. I know that is why you're here. I know that is why you're here. And I know you are ready for that next stage. Even if a part of you is scared, resistant, or like, I don't even know how that is possible. I don't even know, like, how can I get on stage? You don't have to worry about all of the hows. Get so adamant about following that burn inside of you and really trusting it and backing it all the way. That is how I got where I am. That is how I got to where I am. So I wanna go over like what is Mystic Rockstar. So this is a 6 month journey, singing, song channeling journey, where the first module is really about pleasure led embodied vocals. So, this is really tapping into that freaking power of yours in your voice, taking away unnecessary work so you can really start enjoying your singing. You can really start enjoying your singing and knowing your instrument from the inside out and being able to sing with your full body, really being able to express yourself freely and boldly when you are singing. So you can sing the songs that you really dream of singing, the kind of material that you really want to be singing, and not like kind of like restrict yourself to singing like, oh, these are like nice, safe songs, but really sing the kind of material that you actually really, really want to. Is it going to take some devotion? Yeah. Is it impossible? No, I don't think so. I am one of those like crazy ass bitches that I really believe that we can, like, the sky is the limit with our voices, but we just have to stay like true to who we are. But there is so much more that is possible for you in your singing, and especially if we bring in embodied singing as a way and a method of working with your voice and your body to like really unlock that star voice inside of you, so you can feel great when you sing but also sound great, because we care about both of those things. At least I care about both of those things. And that is really where Mystic Rockstar is kind of like bringing together the like spiritual, somatic world of singing, and then the more like maybe like traditional, um, technical world of singing that are usually very separate, but bringing those together, because you actually do need both of them to be able to get to your greatness. You need both of them. Module 2 is your big artist persona. So this is really like liberating and activating that identity of a mystic rock star in yourself. So this is like looking into things like body language, looks, like style, aesthetics, visuals, beliefs that you hold about yourself, and world building. So world building is kind of like the kind of world that your music lives in, like the environments and lore or myths, and like, what are the things that like really resonate with your world. and really feeling into the frequency that your big artist persona has and embodying that in you, in the way you walk, you talk, what you wear, like really taking it up a notch. Because when you can like hold it in your body language, and like your style and all of this, it's so much easier to drop into your like big artist persona. And how we do it in Mystic Rockstar is as an embodied process. So not just like, again, like looking from the outside, like what is going to make me successful? Because like if you take somebody else's like energy, like somebody else's big artist persona, and you just try to like put it on you, it's not going to work because there's like a mismatch. Like your style, your big artist persona has to match who you are, your essence, your being. It has to match the intricacy of who you are and your story and like all of this. It has to feel like you. And the more you feel like you, like your star persona, and by feeling like you, I don't mean like you just like being in your pajamas and like watching Netflix on the couch, but I'm speaking to like your elevated persona. The more you embody that, the more you start to shine, and the more you also feel amazing on stage, you look amazing on stage, and you're able to like really anchor the songs and the music that your big artist persona is meant to sing and bring to the stage and the world. Fun. It's fun. Alrighty. Uh, Module 3, embodied song channeling and writing. So, embodied song channeling and embodied songwriting is really about taking the body into the process, really starting to channel through the body and write as an embodied process, like body first, not like we sit down on the computer or to write and just like sit with like a blank paper and be like, what is the song that I'm going to write? I mean, of course, like there can be moments when you do that, but embodied song channeling is really about like taking your body into the process and giving your body the microphone and finding out like what is actually the emotion, the energy that is wanting to come out through me, through my body. What is actually already inside of me that I can channel and harness into my music? And when you do that, again, it kind of like, again, matches more who you are instead of it being kind of like something in your head, like an idea of who you should be like as a singer. And this is also the skill and the art of singing and channeling from sensation, so felt sense, like visceral sense, and being able to like really channel energy and felt sensation in your body into your singing, and that makes you so much more powerful and skilled as a singer and someone who is like really skilled in expressing different emotions in your music and your singing, and be able to like really transmit and hold. And embodied song channeling and embodied songwriting is really about like leaning into like the different polarities of emotion, like not only like what is pretty or what looks nice, but like really embracing the fullness of your humanity, because the more you do that in your singership, in you being a singer, in you being an artist, the more you kind of like unlock in your voice, and the more um you get kind of like colors and tones and shades into your palette as a singer. Because something that can happen very easily is that we get into this like like we have the idea of like what is going to look and sound good as a singer, and then we are not tapping into like all of this emotion and like all of the story and the music that we have inside of us, because we have this idea of what singing is supposed to look like, what technique is supposed to be like. And like your body may want to like go into certain positions or facial expressions or postures or make some kind of sounds or bring out a character. And if we're too stuck in an idea or a technique or aesthetic, we are kind of like not letting our bodies express something that it is wanting to. And it's not only for the purpose of like being able to like channel different emotions, but it also is because it liberates your instrument more. It liberates your body, because the more we kind of like have the capacity to be seen in different kinds of emotions, the more power we have on stage. Because like let's say like you really want to go on the stage as your rock star self, like like be really fierce and like whatnot, you have to be able to like be seen in your ugliness, or you have to be seen in your rawness, and you have to tap into those things in your humanity. It's not just like acting those things out. And we find the substance through the body. I'm so passionate about this, guys. I'm so passionate about this. Like, I really am. I'm not just joking. And really, this is very like improvisation and like somatic based. Um, the art of embodied song channeling. Um, yes, that is like including a lot of like improvisation into it, but of course like to then build that like into an actual song, and like a process of making that into something that then will be like a ready song to publish at some point. And we also go into things like going from the process of having um, an improvised song demo into a published song, and your process in that journey. Recording great vocals. This is module 4. And this is so that not only you can create like amazing vocals and be able to record vocals in your home without needing to have like expensive gear or studio time, that you can actually work on your vocals on your own, and like foundational things, foundational ways to what's the word, foundational processing for your vocals, so you can make them sound amazing without needing to know all of the tech, but also like how to get out your best performance in the studio without, freezing or feeling like when you press the recording button. But then you can actually deliver and feel free and yourself and in your rockstar self when you are recording vocals. Studio work and recording vocals is like something that I love so much. And I've spent like countless hours recording vocals, and it's one of the things that can grow you so much as a singer and really teach you about your own style, your own voice, and how to refine your vocals. But it's also important to do it in a way where you don't get stuck in like perfectionism or going over things that are so unnecessary. But it can really be a way for you to have so much fun in your singing, but also like really take your artistry to the next level. Recording is so much fun. So this is where we go kind of like into the recording and production phase of the uh, creation of your song, so that you can have a song that is at least recording ready at the end of the 6 months, or you have it recorded and ready to publish. It really depends on everybody's like pace and process where they are at, but with the tools and the work in this program, you will be able to like actually produce and publish that song and have it out in the world. Yes. Module 5, singing your song on your dream 100% stages. So this is about all about your stage performance, and booking those gigs and getting on the stages where your big artist persona gets to freaking shine and be seen in full action, because like obviously that is something that is like the salt and sugar of the whole journey, is to get to really perform on stage. And this is what we work on throughout the whole program, to be able to have the capacity to be seen in that rock star self when you step on that stage. And lastly, module 6, stepping into your fame energy. So dissolving any visibility blocks that you have so you can enjoy being perceived and become visible online, on stage, and in live through your song release and your content. And we're going to also create a pleasure led, embodied led song release plan, where you're going to have at least 30 days to create content through, let's get me unblurred, to create content through pleasure and fun and joy, so that you can like really spread out your song, like bring that song out into the world. And that is also a really important part of the embodiment process, to like bring it out and not just have, like a few songs on the shelf and like something on my hard drive, and like not really bring it out to the world, but to like actually publish it and release it and share your voice on social media and in your content. And of course, we have our final virtual graduation concert where you get to claim your fame energy. That is going to be so cool. So, overall, we have 6 different modules and 3 pillars. All the modules fall into one of these pillars: pleasure and play. So it's about like the first 2 modules of the program are really about increasing pleasure and flow and play and enjoyment in your singing and in your body, so that can be like a snowball that keeps on like rolling and building and rolling and building and growing and growing and growing. And it's like a positive domino effect that you can then channel into your song and your music. Pillar number 2 is studio and song. So this is where we go into like song channeling and recording and all of that. And pillar number 3, stage and fame. So this is like really taking all of the things that we have worked on and bringing it to the stage and embodying that fame energy, that fame identity for yourself. And a few logistics. So this program is very much about getting a lot of like high touch coaching. And what I mean by high touch coaching, that you get individual attention and mentoring throughout the program. And the live calls that we have, they are all about that. They are about individual mentoring, spotlight voice coaching. So this is where you get to get voice coaching in front of the group. And it is one of the like best ways to increase your capacity to be seen in your singing and in your artistry. And then we also do sometimes somatic ceremony to work on the themes of the month in the live calls. But the point is not to just spend more time on Zoom, but the point is to like really get that um, individual coaching and to work on the things that really help you embody your next level as a singer and artist, because you don't need a lot more information. You don't need like hours and hours of content and knowledge. Like you already know technique. You already like you can go to freaking YouTube and you've done it for such a long time. Like you have a lot of information. Now it is about taking into your body into like action, into embodiment, integrating it into you and building it into something that becomes like a tangible thing. We have 2 monthly somatic singing classes. So this is not a coaching session. This is like where you come to spend an hour with yourself and your voice. And we work with a different theme for each class. So it's kind of like a class where you come like to drop in, and then we work on the body and the voice. And we work on things like unlocking the face or lungs or pelvis, improvisation. So it's like different pieces so you can really unlock that amazing voice and feel freaking amazing when you sing, because I really, really, really want that for you. And I freaking know it is so possible for you. And if you just like get to experience what it feels like to really be able to surrender to your big voice, like, oh my gosh, the sky is the freaking limit. And the singing somatics classes are really there so you can hone in on your skill to embody your voice. So you can sing like the songs that you really dream of singing and freaking rock it on stage and have that confidence in yourself and your voice on stage. And there are going to be audio trainings on the go. And what that means is that each month you're going to get trainings audio style that you can listen to when you're on the go, making breakfast, walking outside. So any teaching, any training that there is going to be, most of that is going to be delivered as audio training that you can then listen to on your own time and in your own pace. And this is so that we can make this like as what is the word? Doable is not the word that I'm looking for, but something that is like takes us off the screen so we don't have to be so much on the screen, but it's actually something that we can like kind of like merge into our lives, and it doesn't have to become this like heavy thing, but it's something that can give us energy, because that is really the intention that I have. Like when I have been planning the structure and the flow of this program and this journey, I want this to be a thing that brings you more energy, that brings you more life, that brings you more turn on, more fire into your life. That when you tune into this program, when you tune into Mystic Rockstar, it gives you more energy, it gives you more aliveness. You feel more lit. Like you know already that that happens like when we sing and we have so much more fun and we get on stage, we get more energy out of that. And of course, Besides all of this, there is going to be a private Telegram group. So that is where you can share reflections, connect with the group, and also get some coaching in between the sessions. So the thing that I want to say about Mystic Rockstar is that this is not, it's not like a course where you come and just like you just learn some content. Like this is an actual transformational journey where you go from A to B, where you go from being the naturally talented artist to the mystic rock star who is singing on her dream stages with a freaking rock star voice like a star. I'm saying star so many times because I want you to glow and radiate, and I know that is going to happen when you go through this process. But um, this is really about us working together. This is really about us working together. And it's the group is going to be the size that you are going to get mentoring and coaching. So it's not like a massively big group, but it's the kind of group where you will get individual coaching, or you will get individual attention, and you will also learn from others. Because when we work in a group that is intimate enough, we can go deep enough to like really get to the juice. And that is also when you really learn from others. Like when we like everyone gets to like learn from each other's processes, because there is always something that we can recognize from somebody else that we can't necessarily get when we're just like being coached individually. So this is the outline of the program, like what happens in Mystic Rockstar, what you get in Mystic Rockstar. Because again, I really believe that the thing that is going to move the needle for you is not more information, is not looking at more content like hours and hours of stuff. It is about like real embodiment work, like getting to the root and like getting like coaching individually and in the group. Um, and so that it's like tailored to you. Because again, there's so much information, but what is the thing that you need right now? That is why we need this kind of mentoring. And honestly, this can be something that is going to be saving you years of headache, years of headache and like staying stuck, and not necessarily it's not necessarily about like saving money for years, but it's kind of like tapping into all of the money, wealth, and abundance that you didn't even realize that you had access to, and like ability to receive, because you were not even like tuned into the version of you who could be like able to receive those things. Because like most often it's not, you know, like when you tap into your mystic rockstar self, when you tap into your fame energy and you work on liberating your voice, you are embodying a version of yourself who can be so much more wealthy and so much more successful than the version of you that is not doing those things. So it's not about saving, it's more like you're unlocking a treasure trove. You're like opening up a completely different chapter where so much more abundance is possible. Not only money, but like in all other forms too. Resources. And when we work on your embodiment, your nervous system and like you become more receptive. And that is like, if we're not like available to receive those resources in our lives, or if we kind of like believe that like oh, it's not possible for me. Like, it's not for people like me or us, nobody in my family has ever done that. Or like, that is when we're like cock blocking all of that success and obviously the kind of success that is aligned to you, that feels right to you. I definitely like want you to have all the success and all the abundance that you want to have. And this is not a business program like in the way that we don't work with like offers or like finances or something like that. But um, when you do this work with your voice and your embodiment, you definitely are stepping into a version of yourself who can hold more wealth and more success. And you are stepping into more of that, like your path of success. And this is a place in the internet. This is the kind of program where you can come with the kinds of visions like wanting to be abundant and wanting to be wealthy. This is not a club for starving artists. This is a place where you actually get to want and desire success, fame, resources, money. And there is absolutely no shaming of that. Okay. So to recap, what you will have after you've gone through Mystic Rockstar is you will have up-leveled your vocal skills to sing like a freaking star on studio, on stage, at home, wherever you want to, in the moment. I don't know what's the song that would have come. You will have upgraded artist branding and visuals. You will have a new song that is either recording ready or recorded and ready to take on stage. You will have a song release content plan focused on fun and play to bring your big artist persona out. And you will be ready to go on stage to perform live as the Mystic Rockstar. And obviously, we have the final virtual graduation concert where you will have an audience, an international audience of people around the world in the audience. And it's going to be such a sacred, freaking sassy, fun experience. Like there's never been one before. So if you are feeling cold and you're like, this is for me, like I'm interested, I want to speak about this, this is calling me, I'm burning for this, book your free call. I'm inviting you to book a call with me to apply for Mystic Rockstar and really make this year the year you sing on your dream stages. You step into your power. So below this video in the description box, you can find a link to my calendar where you can book a free call where we can go deeper into your desires, your visions, your challenges, and what you really want for your artistry and whether Mystic Rockstar is the right thing for you. And there's also going to be some application questions. So I really want you to answer those with your heart and your soul. Like, I don't want like 1 or 2 word answers. Like, really give me the tea, give me the gossip. Like, let me in on it. I want to know why this matters for you. I want to know why you watched this masterclass like all the way to the end. I'm sure this is longer than 1 hour. I was aiming for 1 hour, but I'm sure this is much longer. Yappy, yappy, yap. I like to yap. So, um, don't be shy in filling up those answers into the questions, and then in the call you will have a moment to connect together and feel into whether this is your journey this year. So I want to say it was so much fun to spend this masterclass with you, and I want to know what you took from this. Like, share on your stories, on your feed, like something that you uncovered, something you unlocked, something that was activated, and please tag me, Rosa Hart Music, so I can come and cheer you on. You can also send me a DM if you're like, you want to share more privately, like, this is what came through, and um give me the details. Give me the details. So you can definitely drop into my DMs. But before you do that, go ahead and book that call. And we get to go deeper into all of this and really make this the year when you step into your freaking rockstar self. All right. I am wishing you a freaking awesome day, and I am looking forward to talking more with you on our call together. Ciao, ciao, Bella.